Well, it's been a week since this Damar Hamlin sign and wonder, and I think it's pretty obvious now this whole thing is a total Psy-Op, and this is kind of like a fake resurrection. All right, so this is a sign and wonder, a false sign and wonder, a false miracle. And I'm seeing some Christians saying that now even atheists will believe in God, and millions of people will believe in God now because this is a miracle. Well, this is a false miracle, all right? False prophets and false messiahs will basically do false miracles or false signs and wonders, great signs and wonders. This is a false resurrection. This is the beast recovering from his head wound. Now, this guy's kind of the king of occult hand signs. Take a look at some of these hand signs he's doing, and of course he's number 3. So now everyone's wearing number 3. What is this guy in the space shuttle? It looks like NASA up here with all these gadgets and cables lying around. Now, Damar, it almost sounds like a Hebrew word, but I couldn't find this exact word in the lexicon. But Dam, D-A-M, does mean blood. So what's this last name, Hamlin? Now, we've seen this name quite a bit in the last few years. There was a popular Broadway show called Hamlin, and this is actually one of the elite bloodlines. But what does this mean? I think this actually means the line of Ham, the bloodline of Ham, right? The bloodline of Ham. And Ham, or Ham, is the evil son of Noah. Noah was righteous, but his entire family was not. And this guy here, Ham, right after the flood, he did some unrighteous things, showing that he's kind of the father of the wicked people on the earth. He was the father of the Egyptians and the Canaanites, and he's the grandfather of Nimrod, who was the first mighty man, or Gigas, the first giant on the earth. Could be a reference to the first tyrannical dictator on earth, the first Antichrist figure, possibly, right? Nimrod. And the Canaanites were full of these giant tribes. So they want everyone now to pray for the bloodline of Ham. Love for Damar, right? Love for the bloodline of Ham. Like, I don't know this guy. I don't love him. I don't know if this guy's even human. They're coming out of the tunnel. They're the demons coming out of the abyss. Yeah, so like all these guys are wearing number 3. They already got their own numbers, and they got to wear number 3 now. So then they show these 2 guys, only 2 guys standing next to each other. You got 33. You got to pray for Damar. Pray for the bloodline of Ham. This is a false miracle. And they're getting everyone to pray for them. Now, the purpose of the original plagues of Egypt was to show that God, Yahweh, is the God of gods. Yahweh is greater than the gods of the Egyptians and greater than Pharaoh and all these guys. So now Satan is doing false miracles, false signs and wonders, false pandemics, false emotionally charged mass media events that almost traumatize people, bring everyone together and get everyone focused on the same narrative, and then they add in a bunch of stuff. If you're praying for something that's part of a satanic false miracle, then you're praying for the wrong team. And remember, there's no more restrainer on Satan. There's no more restraint on the amount of deception Satan can do now. The demons have been let out of the abyss. They've been let out of the tunnel. So now Satan's going to show us what he's made of. He's going to give us everything he's got to try to capture the hearts and minds of humanity and our souls. There's number 33 again, right? 33, and the other guy with number 33, his name is Kneel. So kneel down to the 33 and pray. Kneel and pray. The buffalo is basically the bull, the Baal. It's a pagan god for the plagues. So in the next game after the Psy-Op, the Buffalo Bills returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Now, I don't know how many times in the history of the NFL the first play of the game resulted in a touchdown.
And down the sideline he goes! This is storybook! An incredible script. You can't make it up. Right? It is fake. Like it was going to happen.
So he said it's storybook. It's an incredible script. it is an incredible script. It was almost fate, and it's almost like it was going to happen because somebody wrote it down. This is the script in the giant Truman Show reality we live in. It's all scripted reality show. Quarterback Josh Allen said the play was just spiritual. You can't write that one up any better. They wrote it up pretty well, is what he's saying. It was a script. It was a very good script on that opening kickoff return for 96 yards. The writers did a really good job on that one. Good job, writers. All right, they're writing our reality for us, and people respond emotionally. So it's like this whole thing is a religion. There's a cult of Damar now. There's been some really horrific injuries in the NFL, and they've never canceled a game. They only canceled or postponed games because of 9/11, which is a Psy-Op. So this is also a Psy-Op because that's the only time they cancel games is during Psy-Ops. 10 worst injuries in the NFL, including Damar Line of Ham. Why is he number one? He didn't really get injured playing the game. He had some kind of heart condition, but now it appears he's probably doesn't have a heart condition. He's perfectly fine. The whole thing's a Psy-Op. It's just another way to cause chaos and division, to try to control the narrative. See, they didn't have to cancel the game. That was part of the theater. Now, this guy here, Daryl Stingley, like these are horrifying images to watch. This was not horrifying, really. They told us it was, but it's a guy tackling somebody, and then he stands up and he falls down. This one here, his spine broke, and he was paralyzed for life. This guy never walked again. Age 26. Did they cancel the game? No, they kept playing the game. Joe Theismann, his leg broke in half. Did they cancel the game? No. And he never played again. It ended his career. Dennis Bird, head first. He crashed head first into his teammate, which paralyzed him. Now, this one, they won't even play it. Like, it's so horrifying, you can't even watch it. Landed head first, temporarily paralyzed. Here's another miraculous recovery. Now, this is also the Buffalo Bills, by the way. Johnny Knox fractured and dislocated his spine, spinal injury again, paralyzed in his lower extremities, all right? This guy's paralyzed, but yet they're saying this guy's number one. I don't think the line of Ham, the Ham line, is number one. And now he's made a miraculous recovery, and everyone's supposed to think that this is a sign of God. No, this is a sign of Satan. The whole thing's a total Psy-Op. See, whenever there's an emotionally charged, kind of traumatizing event, you have to consider this might be a Psy-Op. It's hard to tell if it is or not at first. You know, it's like one of these shootings, these mass shootings, or even 9/11. These are all very disturbing, traumatizing news stories when it happens, and you're not really sure. You don't have enough data to really make any conclusion if this is real or a hoax at first. But that's how they do it. It's all based on emotion. Look at this one. NFL analyst describes emotion. So it's an analyst describing the emotion. And then look at this. I guess there's a lot of threes. There's 4 threes that I can see so far. And the 3 is the rebus. Now this heart sign, I think this might be the rebus, the male head and the female head combined into one body, the rebus. And that's also kind of heaven and earth combined, the spiritual entities with the humans combined into a hybrid. So his touchdown was the Bills' first kick return score since October 2019, a span of 3 years and 3 months. Look again. 3 years, 3 months, 33, which some fans took as another sign. It's a sign and wonder. This is a sign of Hamlin's jersey number 3, appearing in various ways this week. Yes, it certainly has appeared in various ways this week, possibly even a false trinity type of thing. Hines added a second kick return touchdown later in the game, which no NFL player had done since 2010. So there was, so he ran back 2 kick returns for a touchdown in the same game. That was for you 3. Happy we could give you 2 of them, 2 threes. Your spirit was out there with all of us, your spirit. It's very spiritual, isn't it? See, everything they're doing is for number 3 now. Everything they're doing is for the line of Ham, the Ham line, the serpent seed. And now the Bills are in the playoffs. So this Psy-Op is ongoing, and we'll have to watch out for what else they give us. Who knows? Maybe Damar Hamlin will actually play again in the playoffs or even in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, they're getting a lot of mileage out of it so far, capturing the hearts and minds and souls and imaginations of the public. It's a false sign and wonder, a false miracle. And just as it says in the Bible, these things are going to happen. False Christ and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders. Didn't we just see in the newspaper it said this is a sign? Some fans took it as another sign, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the elect. And it is possible. Most of these church members are pretty easily deceived, even though Jesus tells people, do not be deceived. People are being deceived. And right here, 2 Thessalonians 2, the coming of the lawless one is by the activity of Satan with all power and false signs and wonders. That's what we're witnessing today. We're going to see a lot more of these false signs and wonders as time goes on. All right, so God does real signs and wonders, real miracles, but the Antichrist does false signs and wonders. And I will talk more about this again soon.